Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and in this video I have my June book haul, so I'm pretty much all caught up on my book hauls. Granted, I skipped about half a year in order to finally catch up, but hopefully I'll stay caught up now that I'm doing the June one. Obviously I picked up some this month in July, but we'll do that next month. So I think, like I said, hopefully if I stay halfway on task, I'll, be up to date on my book hauls and wrap-ups and like all those staple type videos. But really cool for this month, and then next month when I do next month's video, I have a lot of Folio Society books in these 2 months, which is really exciting. I haven't bought any Folio Society books in about a year, and then I just kind of broke down and was like, granted, they're all secondhand, so they actually weren't crazy expensive, so still pretty cool. So it's kind of like a quality over quantity, though I still have, I think, 10 books, so it's not really like a super small book haul by any means. But let's go ahead and get started with the 3 books that are not Folio Society. But even these 3 books were actually really cool, and is actually, if I don't knock them all over, apparently, Rachel Carson's like unofficial C trilogy of books. And I'll show each one at a time, I guess. Before she wrote, well, I think actually the first 2, before she wrote Silent Spring, which is kind of the book that catapulted her to like kind of like into the ether, the consciousness of like the American mind or whatever. Under the Sea Wind was written like right before Pearl Harbor. I want to say it's like the month or 2 before Pearl Harbor. But it was really like well acclaimed in like kind of like literary circles and stuff. But obviously World War II just sort of overshadowed everything. But she has 3 books. She has Under the Sea Wind, The Sea Around Us, and The Sea Around Us actually won a bunch of awards too for like nonfiction and stuff. And I think that one was written up just a little bit before Silent Spring. And also The Edge of the Sea. And I got some pretty cool editions, I thought, of these books. And this one is really nice. Like, I wish I could have gone to like the yard sale where someone bought this for 25 cents. I was like super jealous when I saw that. As long as I don't rip the dust jacket all to pieces. But I think the cover is actually like really cool, and the spine without the jacket is actually really nice. And all 3 of the books deal a little bit with different aspects of like ocean life, sea life. I think Under the Sea Wind, I think is sort of like life going out to sea. I've only read the first couple like little portions of it so far. Kind of life like that, like kind of starts on land and kind of migrates back out to sea, stuff like that. The Sea Around Us, I think, is like kind of like the ocean proper, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. And then The Edge of the Sea kind of deals with sort of like kind of tidal estuary zones and things like that. Beaches, tidal areas, everything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool getting like the 3 of these books just as sort of like a set. Like I said, these books kind of go under the radar now just because of like, the acclaim of Silent Spring, as Sophia has to, hog the attention and go where I'm going to put the books. So I'm really excited to kind of get like hardcover editions of those. So now let's move on to what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 Folio Society books. This first one right here, if you've seen some of my other videos, I read a lot of those Oxford very short introductions. I found out that one of them was like made into a Folio Society book, and I don't know if it was just to like kind of commemorate that series or something. I really gotta like look into like kind of the history of why they did that. It'd be kind of dope if they made the entire series though. I think it's like around like 700 books now, so that's obviously not even feasible. But it's A Short History of Time by Halford Stevens. Actually, I think that's his last name, hyphenated if I remember. Yeah, Leo Frank Halford Stevens. But it's just one of those like Oxford very short introductions made into like a Folio Society book. So I thought that was really cool. I do like the cover, obviously Folio Society, super high quality, pretty much everything. This one actually doesn't have any plates. It really looks just like how like the Oxford very short introduction books sort of look, but still kind of like a low cost way to get into the Folio Society. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Glad to have picked that one up. This video is going to have a lot of like slip cases like going in and out and stuff. But let's move on to the next one, if I can get around Sophia here. So I'm not sure, I think you can see her on the screen, I think. Or at least maybe you'll see like part of it. Oh, now she's like, oh, you're talking bad about it. I'm gonna jump down. Next one we have Eileen Powers' Medieval Women right here, and I got the edition where it has like this like just like the giant front piece. I think some of them have like I don't know, like 6 like little I guess like manuscript pieces of artwork and stuff. And sneak peek, I got Eileen Powers' Medieval People as well. And that one will be in the July book haul and stuff, in the match. So it looks pretty cool. I really like it. And I think Francis Guise also have, Joseph and Francis Guise also have their like Life in Medieval Village, Castle, and City in this kind of like style as well. But Eileen Powers wrote these, I think I want to say in like the 1930s, the first half of the 20th century. So I don't really know how outdated they're going to be per se, but I really enjoy social histories. And medieval social histories, I think, are almost like a mini genre of their own, just because medieval life always seems like so distant from like kind of like our lives, but in some ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's pretty similar as well. So I think it's going to be a really cool social history to read. All right, next up we have Robert Graves's The Siege and Fall of Troy. I wasn't a big fan of his Greek myths. He's like super heavy on the whole the white goddess theory, like the whole maiden mother and crone thing, and like chthonic whatever. Anyways, but apparently his retelling of like, you know, the Siege and Fall of Troy, obviously, you know, the Iliad and that sort of thing. He wrote it for, I think, like, almost like a middle grade audience, and it's really highly regarded. So I picked it up when I saw it for cheap. I think it was like $11 or something. So I was like, might as well, something like that. Like I said, it's got really like interesting artwork and things, especially for like sort of the topic at hand and whatnot. And it's going to be a short read, obviously, if it's like geared towards like a middle grade sort of argument right here. You know, Achilles quarrels with Agamemnon and stuff. But anyways, I'm hoping it's like a really good sort of different retelling, I guess. I don't know. I'm always like interested in classical history and kind of like the original like Greek sources and whatnot. Like I said, the artwork is like pretty interesting, so glad to pick that one up as well. Oh, and by the way, let me know if you want to see any videos specifically on my Folio Society books. I think I had one other video that I did, like my favorite Folio Society designs or something that like is like one of my best like viewed videos and things like that. And also let me do a plug for my Etsy shop here before I get going. If you've made it this far, thank you into the video. Like I said, other videos, supporting the Etsy shop is definitely the best way to support the channel. Even if you just like your favorite items or quotes or whatever, just favorite the shop, things like that definitely helps me out in the algorithms and whatnot. Well, next up is one that I really wanted to read, is Gilbert White's Natural Histories Antiquities of Selbourn, and I'm going to be doing like probably a book review video of that coming up. I've already finished this one. This one has like handmade marbling. Not 100% sure. I think this was part of like, not like an official set, but there was like 5 sort of rural, rustic sort of topics on English history, or English, I guess English topics, if that makes any sense. And the person that did this, I think in the early 90s, like each cover and each back piece are going to be like sort of custom made. Like they're not going to be, they're not, obviously each one's unique. I don't know why I had such a hard time saying that. But anyway, the Natural History and Antiquities of Selbourn is considered like one of the first works of like modern natural history, where Gilbert Wright was like country parson, who just kept like tons of journals and like wrote letters to like all the leading sort of biologists and ornithologists and botanists and stuff of the day, and would like write to them and get responses about like kind of just his observations. And he actually did take a pretty good keen like observations for like the late 1700s and stuff, asking like really pertinent questions and everything. I really enjoyed the book, and like I said, I'll probably be doing a dedicated video review of this one. Next up, we've already talked about Rachel Carson a little bit, and I actually got Folio Society's version of Silent Spring. This one's pretty cool. As you can see, it's got kind of like one of those plain spraying DDT over like a field or something. That's sort of the artwork for the cover. So I think that's really cool. That's what I like about Folio Society a little bit more than like Easton Press and some of the other like kind of like fancy special edition books, is like those ones all look sort of the same, just like what you'd see in like a professional's like office, like on the shelves, right? You know, they look really nice, like leather bound, whatever. But the Folio Society ones are just like cool and fun, and actually are like pertinent or unique to like kind of the topic at hand. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, it's just like a super high quality edition of Silent Spring. Definitely one of these seminal works in sort of the kind of like environmental movement and stuff. Definitely will be reading that soon. I've actually not read it before, so it's definitely kind of like a treat to read it first as a Folio Society edition. Next up is definitely the one with the coolest slipcase by far. It's got Ernst Haeckel's sort of like some of his sort of drawings, or at least inspired by his drawings and stuff, like on the slipcase. So I think that's really cool. I think I'm gonna keep that one sort of like on the shelf like that for as long as I can. I think it's just like pretty awesome. It's actually one of the a fairly big Folio Society book as well. As you can see, there's another sort of Ernst Haeckel inspired kind of drawing on the cover and whatnot. And it's Richard Fordy's life. And I actually had this in hardcover, but I hadn't read it yet. But when I saw it on Folio Society, he has, I think, one or two other books as well. And he actually has a book on forests or trees. I can't remember. The Forest Unseen, maybe? Or I can't remember. I'll have to like think of maybe put it up there. I think I'm thinking of George Haskell's book. But anyways, he has a book on like forests and stuff that I gotta read as well. What's cool about this one is it does use like really high quality photographs and stuff, but they're actually integrated into the book rather than in plates. A lot of times Folio Society, from pretty much what I've seen, almost all of them are like, you know, specific dedicated plates and stuff, whereas this is kind of almost like a textbook where it's like integrated into the different pages and things. And apparently this and An Intimate History of the Earth or something is actually really highly regarded in like geology circles and things. So I thought that was kind of cool to see this one in Folio Society, or a Folio Society version. And then lastly, probably my favorite of this batch, has a decent slipcase here. You can see, you know, you got a little bit like on there. Like some of the slipcases don't really have anything, but this one is the Folio Book of Science here. And I think just like the spine, the back, and the cover is just super cool. The green's cool, but like also like all the drawings and everything like kind of like on there as well. And what this is a collection of 24 essays, I believe, if I remember correctly, by 12 male scientists and 12 women scientists. And I want to say the editor, what was her name? If I could remember the editor's name, Alice Roberts, who I think is like the president of the British Humanism or something like that, the Society for British Humanism, something like that. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. So we got like lots of different scientists from like the past, including like, you know, Aristotle and Pliny, but it kind of goes into, you know, we got Robert Hooke, Mary Somerville, Michael Faraday, Charles Darwin, Thomas Huxley, Richard Dawkins, Rachel Carson, Stephen Gould, Diane Fossey, Lynn Margulis. So I think that's like really, really cool. That's got like men and women scientists throughout pretty much all kind of like the Western tradition and stuff. So I think that's really cool. Just like this really neat collection of essays. Plus it looks super awesome on the shelf and everything. So I'm really excited to read that. I think I don't know, the way I might read this one, I don't know, I might do like one essay a month to kind of like savor it, like let it last for a long time. But anyways, those were the books that I picked up in the month of June. Let me know what your favorite book in the month of June was, and let me know which one of these 7 Folio Society books you'd be most excited to pick up yourself. I'm always kind of like on the lookout at what people like and what the recommendations are and things like that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of cool stuff. Check out the Etsy shop, Instagram, Twitter, everything like that. And always remember, whatever you're reading this month, in the month of July, always remember, read victoriously.